Welcome to the 25th anniversary of the Peachtree Men's Classic. I'm Brian Morrett, the chairman of the board of the Georgia Gymnastics Judges Association, and I'll be your host. We're going to look at all 6 Olympic events, starting with floor exercise. Our first competitor is going to be Nick Owens. Nick starts with a double back pike. Into some Thomas flares on the floor. A little bit of a bobble. Twisting move into the corner. Comes back with an Arabian side. Into his dismount. Double back. Doesn't quite make it around. Let's take a look at that in slow motion. As you can see, Nick doesn't quite get the height he needs. Too short on the rotation. Next competitor is going to be Daniel Lockwood. Opens with a nice 2.5 twist. Once again, a couple hops. Comes back with a real nice V-sit. Ends up with a double twist, couple steps. Right into Eric Sinsley. Eric's from Roswell Gymnastics Club. 2 full twisting bounders. And a 2.5. Double back. Once again, a hop. Let's take a look again at his full end double back. You can see, nice big step there. Jeremy Adams. Jeremy's from Gym South Flames. Jeremy's a very tall gymnast, so everything that he does that has little errors is extremely emphasized. Opens up with a half to a double front. Coming back to a twisting front pass. That's a requirement. Jeremy's corner move. As you can see, Jeremy's line being so tall really does have an effect on the score that the judges are going to end up getting. Coming into his last pass now. Double tuck, which he does stick, but it's landed a little low. There's Jennifer East is the head judge on floor, working with one of our visiting judges from Boston. We got John Zug. John's a gymnast from Alabama, works at Planet Gymnastics. John has a real nice line, great tumbler. The 1.5 front. Finishes with a double back. We have Wynn Owen from Cobb Challenger Gymnastics. You'll see Wynn mount with the same move that Jeremy did, the half into the double front. He's using a mat to land on. There is a deduction for that mat. Nice double back pike. And ends up with a double tuck. You see, over rotates it just a little bit. Moving on to pommel horse now. Jeremy Adams again from Gym South Flames. Pommel horse is one of the hardest events in men's gymnastics. There's twisting and rotating action. Jeremy just went up and down the horse. They're called salvados or magyars. And he ends up with just a simple loop off, but you can see leg separation the entire routine. Patrick Kirksey and Chris Homan. Patrick, a member of the World Championship team for the United States. Here comes Wynn now on pommels. There's a nice sit. There's another sit. You can see that Wynn has a little bit of a tightness in his hips. He needs to stretch out a little more. And we'll see some good examples of some excellent stretching later on. John Zug again from Planet Gymnastics. You can see there's a little bit of a skew to his circles. They're not quite 90 degrees. And the dismount. Handstand dismounts are pretty prevalent this year on pommel horses. This is Lee Wilkerson. Traveling down. Oh, and Lee fell down. When you fall, you have 30 seconds to remount. Your coach can't speak with you. Lee jumping back up. Back travel. Russians on the end. Into a real nice dismount. Robbie Cox from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. Nice loop in. Scissors work. Once again, single leg work is required on the pommels. That's a check Kara Moore. And coming into the handstand dismount, notice the arm bend and needs to drive his heels a little more in his dismount. We got Brian Smith from Gym South Flames. I want you to notice Brian's right arm. It's almost always bent in every move he does. That's a deduction. Once again, when you see things like that start to happen, you can pick them up as you go through the routine from a judging perspective. And then last from Atlanta School of Gymnastics, Nick Owen. Nice full twisting scissors. Back into the middle. Picks up his double leg circles. Those are Thomas flares into the dismount. The 25th anniversary Peachtree Men's Classic, recorded March 8, 2008. Stick around. Coming up after the break, Rings and Vault.
Autotrader.com, Atlanta's largest automotive classified website, is proud to support the 25th annual Peachtree Men's Classic Junior Olympic Gymnastics meet. If you're searching for a new or used car or need to sell your car, Autotrader.com is the best place to click to for millions of cars, millions of shoppers, and the best value in the private seller ads. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
This building will be attacked 3 million times today. Who is going to protect it? Meet Staff Sergeant Lee Jones, Air Force Cyber Command, a member of America's only cyber command, protecting us from millions of cyber threats every day. It takes Air Force technology to defend America in a changing world. U.S. Air Force, above all. Learn more about our changing world at airforce.com.
Welcome back to the Peachtree Men's Classic. Let's move on to rings. First up, Brian Smith from Gym South. Rings combines swing and strength, and you're going to see Brian do both of those. Back up rise to a Maltese, a little bit low. Back up rise cross. You'll see that Kyle Sherritt, his coach, is watching every move. Coaches are tremendously important in rings for spotting because you just don't know when you might slip off. So here we go. He's moving down into a position to do some dislocates, into a shoot handstand. A little bit of bend arm there. Now he's getting ready for his dismount, dislocate, It's a shoot into a back off. Next up will be Jared Griffin. Jared's from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. You can see that the guys adjust their grips on the rings. There's a dowel in there so that if their fingers don't go completely around the ring, it lets you hang on a little bit better when you're doing moves like the move he just did there. You're going to back up rise into a straddle planche. Hips are a little bit high, down into straddle L seat, pressing back up into a handstand. And you have to hold everything 2 seconds on the rings to get counted without any type of deductions. And a full in back out. You see a lot of that as the dismount this year. That's actually a full twist, 2 flips. Robert Ito, the head judge there on the right, another board member for the GGJA. Coming up now is Jeremy Adams. Once again, Jeremy's very tall. Errors that he has in his body position will be emphasized from his height. A bit of a false grip there on his cross, and his cross is a little bit high. Very, very hard for a tall gymnast to do strength elements on the rings. So in a handstand. And 2 gazogis. Named for the great gymnast from the far west. Once again, a full in, back out, full twist with 2 flips. Landing was just a little bit low. Eric Viscardi doing a double back off. And the next, we're going to show some strength moves. That's Robbie Cox. Robbie Cox again doing a cross. Trent Jarrett from Atlanta School of Gymnastics, back roll into a cross. And there's Jarrett again with a cross action. Same Jared Breeden from Jim South. Kip into a Maltese. Forward roll into a cross. Press into a Maltese. And now we're going to move on to vault. In vaulting, you're going to see a number of flips and twists. That's the vaulting board and the vaulting horse. Men do not vault on the long horse anymore. Win Owen from Cobb Gymnastics. You'll see some guys do 2 vaults. They average the scores. Double front, pike position. Here's Corey Coughlin on vault from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. There's Robbie Cox from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. Next, Daniel Lockwood from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. Jeremy Adams from Jim Flames. Jeremy again, that's his second vault. Now the judges will be averaging those 2 vaults together. This is Lee Wilkerson. Skylar Bensel from Cobb Gymnastics. That's Christopher Voisin, his coach. Next will be Billy Burris. The run is an important part of the vault. If you're not running fast enough, you're not going to make it. That was a very nice vault, nice projection. Kevin Moon from Cobb Gymnastics Center. Kevin with the front handspring. John Zug. 2 big steps there is going to hurt him. And then Eric Viscardi is going to round up our vaulting event here. And once again, sticking to vault is extremely important. Calculating the scores, averaging. Here comes Eric's second vault. It's got to be from a different family. Once again, a little bit of a hop on the end. Moving on to parallel bars. Jared Griffin from Atlanta School of Gymnastics. Front uprise. That's a little bit of an extra swing there to get into his peach movement. Press handstand. Back toss. You can see that he's got a little bit of a arch in his back. That's a bad position. You need to be hollow chested, hollow in the back. Double back off. Stuck to land. Next gymnast up on parallel bars will be Lee Wilkerson. Picture of Joe Strength and Mitch Griffin. Joe is the former coach at Atlanta School of Gymnastics. Here's Lee. Glide into a handstand position. Diamondov, front uprise, back to the handstand, pirouette. We got a cast, back uprise L. He's going to press a handstand here. And a double tuck dismount. Coming up, Olympic hopeful, Justin Lowry.
How do you fight an enemy who hides among the innocent? Never let him out of your sight. With our unmanned surveillance aircraft, the U.S. Air Force is making sure potential threats have no place to hide. It takes Air Force vigilance to defend America in a changing world. U.S. Air Force, above all. Join us at airforce.com.
Welcome back to the 25th anniversary of the Peachtree Men's Classic, recorded March 8, 2008. We'll continue with our parallel bar competition. Next up, Wynn Owen from Cobb Challenge. Wynn mounts with a glide kip reverse cast into a handstand, extra swing, into a moy to a support, back to the handstand position, stutz to the handstand, a little bit of a bobble there. Back up rise, press to handstand, and a double pike for his dismount. All these gymnasts are working extremely hard. These guys are in the sport 5, 6, 7 years. And these guys are all in high school. This is John Zug. There's a nice back toss. Oh, a little bit of a fall there. Then back to the handstand. Another back toss that he nails into the handstand. Stutz handstand. Double back tuck. John's having sort of a rough meet today, as you can see. Everything's just a little bit off, and sometimes you have those days when you're a little off. Mitch Griffin sitting there with Joe Strength calculating scores. Now we have Jeremy Adams coming up. Glide kip. Swing handstand.
Come on, Jeremy. Come on. Come on.
And there's a peach. Press to the handstand. And a Diamondov. Each one of those steps is a deduction.
Come on.
And there's a Yama dive with an extra half twist. An uprise pirouette and a double back tuck off. Little hop on the dismount. Our last competitor will be Eric Viscardi. The glide kip. And the reverse cut. Press the handstand. Moy. Back swing to the handstand. Pirouette. And you can see not as many little bobbles for Eric here. Press handstand. And double back tuck. Once again, you've got to stick those landings to make a difference. Moving on to horizontal bar, this is the event that I judged. And first gymnast up is going to be Jeremy Adams. Jeremy's got some very big tricks in this routine. Starts with a Ginger. Now he hops into undergrip giants. You're going to see a Weiler kip. You're going to see a variation of grip changes here. There's a full twist into a mixed grip, right into an L grip. Hop right out of that L grip giant. That's a requirement pirouette. And you watch him. He's going to do a full twist over the top of the bar. Giant and his dismount, which is 2 twists and 2 flips. Will Fontenez from Knoxville judging with me on high bar. The last gymnast will be Lou Wilkerson. He does some nice twist elements also in his routine. So free hip. It's a blind change into reverse grip giants. It's a Stalder with a full twist out. Once again, you can see the dowels that are in Lee's grips that allow him to hang on to the bar. His finger's not quite long enough to go around. There's a Stalder in an L grip position, hops out. Pirouette, getting ready for the dismount. And full twisting, double, in a laid out position, a little bit of a pike.
It's a great pleasure that I get to introduce to you a former competitor with the Atlanta School of Gymnastics who has spent the last 4 years plus competing for the University of Michigan on a full scholarship. He is currently vying for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. We have been blessed with Justin Laurie coming back. And I'm not going to put Justin on the spot to talk in front of crowds, but what Justin's going to do is he talks best one-on-one.
My name is Justin Lowry, and I am a former Atlanta School of Gymnastics team member. I am here to support the 25th Annual Peachtree Men's Classic Junior Olympic Gymnastics Meet.
He's going to do a quick exhibition of some high-level high bar work, and I mean this is one of the top gymnasts in the entire nation.
Chestnut Media has acquired some footage of Justin at the Houston Open. We're going to see some pommel horse work. Here we go. Starting out with some Thomas flares. You can see the difference in Justin's performance versus a performance that we saw earlier today at the Junior Olympic Peachtree meet. Justin is an Olympic hopeful for the 2018. In the background, you can see Raj Bajwa from the Chevron team, standing by Kevin Muzaika, who's going to be the Olympic coach. See single leg work we've discussed before, his circle work. A lot of movements behind the back, Russians on the end, going into the dismount and loop off. You can look back at Mark Sherman's the judge in the yellow shirt, which gives him the heads up. Mark's the president of the Texas Association. There he is.
I'm here to do an exhibition in preparation for the Olympics coming up later on this year in the summer. It should be a great run.
Thank you, Justin.
The Georgia Gymnastics Judges Association and the Atlanta School of Gymnastics would like to wish Justin the best of luck in his Olympic quest. That's it for today. I'm Brian Morrett for Chestnut Media.
Your first place winner in all around, class 10, 83.65 from Gym South, Jeremy Adams.
The 25th anniversary Peachtree Men's Classic